This is not your ordinary SG sole plate. It is a sole plate used quite frequently by the pros. You have access to it, but you're probably not using it. Today we're going to take a look at it, break down what its positives are as well as a couple of negatives, and work out how you can get this, and is it better than this array of other boots that I have in front of me. So question number one, what on earth is this? Well, this is a converted sole plate. So it was originally an FG sole plate that I have had converted to an SG sole plate. If you want to know where to get this done, I'll tell you nice and early on. If you head over to bootman.ie, check them out on Instagram, drop them a message, they will do a conversion for you. I find they do an absolutely exquisite job, and this is where I got this one done. It's where I will get all of my conversions done. In short, a converted sole plate is where you would take the FG version of a boot. Apologies for all the mud here. You take the FG version and you are going to take out some of the studs. So these two here, these two here, these two here, and replace them with metal SG studs in order to have it look an awful lot, oh, hold on, wrong one, here we go, an awful lot like an SG boot. So I have the regular SG Pro in the Mercurial here, and you can see it's exactly the same setup. We've been able to convert the FG to an SG. That's what a converted boot is, but you're probably sat there right now thinking, why? Why would I do that? I can just go and buy the SG Pro and not have to go about having this done and paying somebody to convert my boot. Well, there's a few very good reasons. The first and probably most popular reason requires boots like this and boots like this. These are limited editions, special editions, sometimes even just launch colorways that do not come with an SG option. Neither of these boots were released as an SG sole plate. So if I wanted to wear these regularly on an SG pitch, maybe for my Sunday league, I would need to have them converted. It means that I can get the exact boot that I want in the colorway I want, the style I want, and still use them for the correct surface. It just makes so much sense. And this is something that you're going to see pros do as well. You're going to see a fair amount of limited or special edition boots that quite simply have had the FG converted out to an SG. Now your big name top end pros are potentially getting a custom sole plate from their manufacturer, or the manufacturer might be doing the conversion for them, but there is an awful lot of pros that are not getting that service and are using third-party services like bootman.ie to get their sole plates converted so they can wear the boots that they want in the correct sole plate. For our second reason, we're going to go back to the Mercurials. So we've got the SG Pro pair, we've got the converted FG pair, and we've also got the anti-clog pair here. Now I am going to be doing a video comparing all of these three together in kind of a battle. So if you want to pick that up, do get subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. And if you want to get it earlier than anybody else, you can do so by becoming a Boot Wizard member. Information for that is down in the top pinned comment and also in the description. Huge benefits, really great early access videos. However, back to what we're talking about. So we have the three different Mercurial sole plates here. These two, of course, being very, very similar. So let's not worry about that for now. What we do want to worry about is the anti-clog. So what Nike did during the life cycle of the anti-clog sole plate was to switch it from what we got here which was the completely changeable stud system, the same as you would get on an SG Pro, to this, which is essentially a plastic stud with an aluminium or steel tip to it, which means that these are not interchangeable. You can't change the length of them. If they break, if they wear down, there is absolutely nothing you can do. This was not a popular decision by Nike. And I've had more than one person tell me that these are liable to snap or break from time to time, and then your boots are useless. Well, not if you do a conversion. What we can do is we can take this, and somebody, again, like bootman.ie, you can have these taken out and removed, and you can have them replaced with studs like this. So then you've still got the anti-clog coating all the way through the sole plate, but you can change the length of the studs. You can obviously replace them when they wear down or break. So a massive benefit to what Nike were offering with this particular sole plate, in my opinion. Nike have, of course, recently seemed to be moving away from the anti-clog sole plate altogether and just switching back to having SG Pro as their only option. But that doesn't mean there's not an absolute ton of great value SG Pro boots out there that are built like this that you can have converted, or you can wear until they kind of give up on you, and then have them converted to breathe some extra life into your boots at a much lower cost than buying a whole new pair of boots. I do want to talk about another reason why the pros might be opting for an SG conversion, but I also want to touch on maybe a downside. Of course, this is not a free service. If you want an SG conversion, it's going to cost money. So, where possible, you probably still want to go out and pick up the SG Pro variation because it's quite simply going to be cheaper. However, as we spoke about at the beginning, FG boots are absolutely prevalent, and that is definitely not always an option. There is also, do I have it here? I do. There is also a little bit of a myth that the conversions are lighter. And in my experience, that's not the case. They do sometimes use a higher quality of studs, and they are done very, very well. However, they're not always going to be lighter. So if I put this on the scales, this is going to come in at 207 grams, and that is with the SG conversion, so the FG boot with the SG conversion in a US size 8. If I take a US 8 anti-clog, same boot, and put that on there, we're coming in at 212 grams, so there is a very minimal difference between the two. And then this here, do bear in mind, this is half a size smaller, so this is a US 7.5. We put this on the scales, that's going to come in at 194 grams. So you can see essentially the same across the board, so you're not really going to be saving yourself a huge ton of weight, but people doing the conversions never actually claimed that anyway. And finally, what's our final reason that pros might be using a conversion service? Well, pros aren't all getting incredibly custom designed, lasted boots, but they are on contracts with particular brands. They may be on a contract with Nike that simply provides them with retail style boots, just like you and I. And if that's the case, and the boots that they have available to them are simply FG, you might end up with a conversion just like this one, because obviously the logic here is illogical. Why would you convert this boot if you can buy the SG Pro? Well, maybe you can't buy the SG Pro. Maybe you don't have it available. Maybe this isn't the colorway, or maybe this is the colorway that you wanted, but it didn't have it in SG, but you could get it on sale. There's so many reasons why you might want to switch to a conversion, and all of those reasons apply to an awful lot of pro players. It also seemed, especially at the time, that pros were moving away from this anti-clog sole plate. They didn't particularly like it, especially in the older models, the original models, even before this, where it was all black and because those seemingly were quite heavy. But as I said earlier, we are going to be doing a boot battle between these three boots, and if you want to check that out as soon as it's available, you want to click this video here, where I also uncover a rather large issue with converting a mercurial.